In-game live game day has begun. Let's do this thing. I am Gabe Morency. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. Countdown to kickoff from SoFi is on. We don't have to worry about the weather in this football game in one of the nicest and most beautiful stadiums in the world in Inglewood, California. The Los Angeles Rams take on the Philadelphia Eagles. It should be a cool football game, but we've been down this road before, and honestly, even though we've had a couple of really wild endings today in the National Football League, for the most part, it's been a pretty anticlimactic day of football. But this should be a good one. The Philadelphia Eagles riding a 6-game win streak coming into tonight's contest. But when you dig down a little bit deeper, who have they actually beaten? So the Eagles are 8-2 straight up on the season, 6-4 ATS, 6-4 to the under on the season. They've won 6 games in a row. They're 5-1 ATS on this 6-game run, so pretty impressive. And for all the criticism of Nick Sirianni, the fact of the matter is they're 8-2 for 3 years in a row for the first time in franchise history. Last time I checked, too, hey, Eagle fan, you guys ran Andy Reid out of town because he didn't think he could win a big game as well. So be careful what you wish for. But with that being stated, so on the 6-game win streak that they have, they beat the Cleveland Browns, the New York Giants. That's an oxymoron because they're not Giants. It should be the New York. Yeah, it's not. They're not the New York Giants. Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals have no claws. Jags. They got no claws either. The Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. Those are the teams that the Philadelphia Eagles, their 6-game win streak, has been against. The Browns, the Giants, the Bengals, the Jags, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. Not exactly a murderer's row. And we've heard a lot, and you can't dispute it. The Philadelphia Eagle defense has done a great job during this 6-game win streak. But look at the quarterbacks that they played. Look at the bad teams that they played. And Vic Fangio's defense can confuse young quarterbacks and bad football teams. They're not going to confuse Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, especially if you got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua in the mix, and they're healthy, which they are. So the Rams come into tonight's game, big-time game. Bigger game. It's a big game for both teams, but it's a bigger game. The Rams trying to keep pace. Suddenly they could be 6-5 and be in a first-place tie. San Francisco's trending in the wrong direction. The wheels have fallen off. And Seattle just beat Arizona in the Pacific Northwest. It wasn't pretty, but Seattle, either way, Seattle are 6-5 right now, stringing together a couple of wins. So massive game for the Los Angeles Rams tonight. Especially when it comes to tiebreakers, conference games matter and all this. So, it's a big game for the Rams. Big game for the Eagles, but really big game for the Rams. The Rams are also hot. They lost that Monday nighter to the Miami Dolphins, but they're 4-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 5 football games. So this should be an interesting game. As far as the totals are concerned, the Eagles are 6-4 to the under on the year, and the Rams are 5-5 coming into tonight. Now, there should be points in this game, but at the same point in time, the Eagles like to run the football and shoot a clock up. And the Rams aren't really a big play offense. They're more systematic, right? 8-yard play to Kupp, 12 yards to Nacua, right? It sort of accumulates. But with that being stated, I still think we can get to the 49 tonight. So it's 3-49. The Eagles rush for more yards than any team in the National Football League, but the Rams are pretty good against the run. They're ranked 11th against the run. They're ranked 22nd against the pass. So I think Stafford should be able to throw the football with success against Philadelphia's secondary, and we'll see if Jalen Hurts can throw the football with success. Devontae Smith, of course, is out of this football game with a hamstring. So let's get to our picks. A lot of people are tuning in for our patented first touchdown score of the game, although I tell you what, it's a tricky one tonight. There's a lot of options on the board, isn't there? But let's start off with the fact that I am on the home team. I'm on the Los Angeles Rams. Listen, I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are a really good football team. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFC. They're Super Bowl contenders, but they also really play a soft schedule. So this is a step up in class tonight, and we're getting 3 points. Now, we could say, well, the home field doesn't mean quite as much at SoFi, but the Rams have fans. There's going to be Eagle fans here, obviously, but I think that whole L.A. teams don't have home field advantage thing is a little bit overblown. To be honest with you, even the Chargers now that they got Harbaugh and they're good, they're starting to, the bandwagon is filling up. So we're going to go with the Rams +3. We're going to go over the 49 in this football game. We're going to do we're going to play a 7-point teaser to the over in this game. And we're going to play, we're obviously playing a long field goal prop tonight. We're playing a long field goal prop this evening. Now, we got a bunch of player props for you here tonight. So Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Their numbers are high. They're both 6.5 as far as their receptions are concerned, but is there any reason why that they're not going to go over their number? And we've got some prop trends for you that I put together that are correlated with my plays here. So Puka Nacua, dude, his number fell to 71.5. It's 71.5 right now. It's not even 75.5 anymore. Puka Nacua, 16 catches for 221 yards in the last 2 football games. Cooper Kupp, 13 catches, 186 yards in his last 2 football games. Is that good? That's pretty good, right? I might not be Bill Walsh, but I think that's pretty good from what I know about football. So, listen, these 2 dudes have been killing it, and we know that the Philadelphia Eagles secondary could be vulnerable. Their numbers are a little bit skewed because of the bad teams that they played against. So I'm expecting Nacua and Kupp both to go over their receiving yard prop tonight. Matthew Stafford, it's up to 251.5 right now. Matthew Stafford passing yard prop. And Stafford has gone over this number in 4 of his last 5 football games. So, I find this number to be a little bit light. And in fact, he's actually gone over in 5 of his last 6 at 251.5 here. So, he's going to throw the football. All right, the Eagles are not, the Rams don't run the ball that much to begin with. They throw the ball to Kupp, they throw the ball to Nacua. That's what they do almost on every snap, essentially. So we like Stafford over 249.5. How about this one? Jalen Hurts has rushed for at least 1 touchdown in 5 straight football games. Early in the season, Saquon was getting these touchdowns, and I thought, and a lot of fantasy players were getting frustrated, and I thought, hey, I kind of knew this was going to happen. Saquon's going to be a TD. He's going to be the ones scoring the TDs. They're going to want to keep him happy and also not get Hurts injured in these short yardage situations with the brotherly shove and all that. But whatever, dude. They've gone right back to this thing with Jalen Hurts and the brotherly shove. 5 straight games, guys, he scored a touchdown. So how do we not take him to score a touchdown? And this is where it gets really tricky for first touchdown scorer of the game. They don't run the ball much, the Rams, but when they get close to the end zone, they do give it to Kyren Williams. Williams is a touchdown machine. So I think Williams has to be in the mix here for first touchdown score of the game. We talk about the running backs being the go-to, and we could talk about Saquon, but honestly, we can't play everybody. So if we're going to play one player from both teams, let's go with Williams at plus 375 with the Rams, and let's go with Jalen Hurts to score the first touchdown of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles, plus 500. So we got Williams plus 375, Hurts plus 500, Barkley's plus 350, and he could score, but I would rather the value at Hurts at 5-1, and we've seen Hurts step up right now. As I stated, I'm not getting in front of 5 touchdown games in a row here. Let's go over that he's going to get a touchdown as well. Anytime touchdown score for Jalen Hurts. More props on the other side. Let's roll.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
in! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Tatum has fixed that hitch. He now shoots it at the top of his jump. His release is really pure. And right now he's shooting it at 49% from three. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot at 49% from three for the season. But if he's at 42, 43%, Lord have mercy, look out below. Jason Tatum, right now, my number 6 player in the NBA.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, guys?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take the room.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Are you okay with him moving to the head of the class of the Heisman with those 2 games? Because he wasn't even in the discussion before those 2 games.
This is a big opportunity for Dylan if he wants to continue to make his case for the Heisman Trophy, and I think he's shown that. You know, I mean, what is he, a 6th-year player who's going to probably end up setting most of the passing marks because he's been around for so long? So why not also throw a Heisman Trophy in the mix?
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on Sport.
Countdown to kickoff is on. Let's do this thing. I am Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. I see they have the intro is beginning on Sunday Night Football tonight. I believe it's Carrie Underwood. And I saw a story recently about how much she gets paid, Carrie Underwood, to perform this song. And I believe it's actually $1 million a week that she gets for this song to play on Sunday Night Football. Which I'm thinking, you know, if I was a stockholder of Comcast /NBC, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I don't think this is going to work moving forward, Carrie. As good as your song is, we're not paying you $1 million a week for it. But hey, great work if you can get it. So yeah, countdown to kickoff is on right now. And as I stated, if you're just joining us right now, I'm on the Rams +3. We took the over the game. I'm not going to lie. I've got some concerns about it, but whatever. I've got concerns. Is anything, is there a reason not to have concerns about any bet that we make ever? As far as the touchdown score props are concerned, this is a tricky one. There's a lot of legitimate candidates for the first touchdown score of the game, but I don't like to bet on like 5 people, right? It takes a sting out of the win. You know what I'm saying? So we live and die with it. We take, I like to, a lot of times I'll just go with 1, but I got to tell you, today for touchdown score props, first touchdown score props of the game, the underdog wild players were winning today. Like it was like, no-name guys that were scoring. Tucker Kraft scored the first touchdown. Stover, Noah Gray, right there. It rarely was it a big-time sort of, a running back or one of the star players. It was a very random first touchdown score prop day today. That kind of was last Sunday as well. These primetime games have been very running back heavy, as everybody knows that tunes in. And I know a lot of you do tune in, and we appreciate it. I got a lot of people on Twitter, X, that tell me, hey, Morency, I'm taking a running back tonight. I learned from watching your show the running back scored the first touchdown of the game more than anyone else. And, yeah, it's kind of true. For the most part on these primetime games. Hell, the last one it was Nick Chubb scored the first touchdown of the game on Thursday night. Right? Not a running back. So is it going to be Saquon? If they get really close, it's going to be Jalen Hurts. Dude, Jalen Hurts, guy's got 12 touchdowns on the year. He's got a one. Sometimes he's got 2 touchdowns in games, but he's got at least 1 rushing touchdown in 5 straight games. Right? The brotherly shove, they can't stop it, so they do it. Right? So we can go Saquon. Williams is a touchdown machine on the Rams. as well. There's not a, one thing with Williams, I find he's overpriced, though. Like, Williams, like, minus 200 to score a touchdown, plus 375, first touchdown of the game. The thing is, Nakua and Kupp really aren't touchdown machines. They're reception machines, right? They rack up the stats, these guys, but they don't really score a million touchdowns. But let's rattle off our props for you. But we're going to go with Jalen Hurts to score the first touchdown at plus 500, and we're going to go with Williams to score the first touchdown plus 375. Let's go with anytime touchdown score, Jalen Hurts as well. Jalen Hurts minus 130, anytime touchdown score. And no Devontae Smith. Let's go A.J. Brown. Let's go with A.J. Brown to score a touchdown. Plus 110. And now there's no turning back. We are officially spinning and almost accepted, about to be in, and we are in. Let's roll. All right, so we're a couple of minutes away from kickoff here to rattle off all of our plays, and we've got quite a few of them. A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown score. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown score. Williams, first touchdown score, plus 375. Hurts, first touchdown score, plus 500. Long field goal, over 46.5, which is also hit for the most part at almost every primetime game. Puka Nakua over 6.5 receptions. Cooper Kupp over 6.5 receptions. Saquon Barkley. Love Saquon Barkley over 2.5 receptions, and I like Barkley over 14.5 receiving yards as well. Matthew Stafford over 251.5 passing yards. Matthew Stafford over 1.5 touchdown passes. Puka Nakua over 71.5 receiving yards. Cooper Kupp over 65.5 receiving yards. Saquon Barkley over 14.5 receiving yards. A.J. Brown over 88.5 receiving yards. Over 49 in the football game. 7-point teaser. Rams plus 10 over 42. Rams plus 3. And here's one that doesn't help you, but I'm glad that it got us started in this game. I was already on the Denver Broncos in the game, but it was really late. It was like 2.5 minutes left. It was pretty crazy. The Broncos scored late. They took a 10-point lead. Like a lot of these games today, they all got weird late. So the Broncos took that 10-point lead, and they were minus 9.5 in the game. And I actually thought, man, there's no way in hell the Raiders are going to turn the ball over. They won't score, right? They won't score. So I laid the 9.5, but I parlayed it with the Rams to get a head start, right, to turn it into a nice little play here. And lo and behold, the Raiders go right down the field and kick the field goal. And I'm like, oh, God, like, really? Really? And then, sure enough, the Raiders turn the football over again. And then Denver scored. Denver scored again late to get back up. They kicked the field goal to get it back up to 10. And then the Raiders with Desmond Ridder. And for the record, Desmond Ridder looks better than Minshew or O'Connell does. I know it was brief, but maybe I'll just give this kid a chance. But then Ridder actually marches them all the way down the field, literally like they thought they scored. Like it was one of those, can't believe it. Like if you had the Raiders, like that was a bad beat. Like I don't like the term bad beat, but when you score, you know what I mean? There's a couple of seconds left in the game. You need points. You're going to get it. It looks like it's a touchdown, but the old forearm was down literally right before the goal line. And then, like, you can tell, like, only the Raiders or another really bad team actually won't score, and they're going to screw this up, which they did. They didn't have any timeouts, so they had to throw the ball. And then Ridder, after all the good things he did, he got sacked, and that was the game. So, long story short, we have the Denver Broncos minus 9.5, parlayed with the Rams plus 3 as well. So, we're in on the Rams right now. There's no turning back. And when we're back on the other side, this football game is set to begin. We'll tell you a funny story about Puka Nakua not knowing what division the LA Rams are in. In-game live game day.
Your main event, Tale of the Tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira, is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6 foot 8. May now weigh in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
With that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Randy Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
Oh my goodness. How are you going to get more of that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has of getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work! Francis Ngannou rolling away.
Look how heavy he's on the hips. Look at that position. That's beautiful work. Heavy's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
And we have begun. In-game live game day has begun, and Sunday Night Football has begun as well. Very cool uniform matchup. You know, both sparkly. The Rams have one of the nicest uniforms in the National Football League, and the Eagles always look crisp as well. Great uniform matchup this evening. I'm a big fan of SoFi. I like the stadium. I like it during the day better. It's like super bright. You know what I mean? And unlike Jerry's World, the sun's not in people's eyes, but they have it that the sun comes in, but it doesn't like get on the field and in players' faces, but the fans can soak it in. A really, really cool stadium. I'm a fan of it. I've been to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas as well. They're kind of similar once you're in, you know what I mean? They're one of the, you know, modern multi-billion-dollar stadiums. I'd say SoFi is fancier, but Allegiant Stadium is sort of simpler to deal with, right? It's right off the strip, but even when you get into the stadium and stuff, like Allegiant Stadium is SoFi is like being in an airport, man. Like you don't know where you are. It's like this massive complex. There's like, you have no idea what's going on. All right, so it looks like it's going to be one of these weird nights. You know it's a weird night when all right, anybody that bet Matthew Stafford rushing prop over just won. I'll tell you that. What was it, 2.5? Why did I take it? Matthew Stafford just scrambled for like 20 yards or something, all right? Like, who saw that one coming? So yeah, Matthew Stafford. I tell you what, man, this guy, even the Rams thought he was done a couple of years ago. Like after they won the Super Bowl, the Rams kind of privately were like, you know what? We kind of hope he retires. And, you know, we won the Super Bowl with him. Well, there's Williams carving it up down the field. That would have been a sweet, like, first touchdown score if he just could have popped it and gotten away there. But the Rams on the move early. This is nice for overbettors. I like this start. But, yeah, so Matt Stafford, right, like even when they won the Super Bowl, he wasn't great in the Super Bowl, right? They won because of the defense and Aaron Donald for the most part. Stafford made a couple of plays, but he wasn't great. And, you know what I mean? He had, like, health issues. He was always hurt. He was a little bit older, and they sort of thought, well, you know what? We're kind of stuck with him. It is what it is. The bill is due. We won the Super Bowl. And there was talk about, like, can we trade him? Or, like, and if you guys even remember, he even came out and said, I'm not retiring. right? He came out point blank. But long story short, this guy can ball, man. Like, he can still, man, he can sling it. You give me, like, you know what I mean? You give Matt Stafford time, he's going to carve you up. Just point blank. He's got great wide receivers, but they wouldn't be as good if Stafford wasn't as good. Like, Stafford really still plays at a very, very high elite level. And as you saw, he's also capable. He can still take off. He's more athletic than we give him credit for. You know, as I've talked about in the past, I find it a little bit ironic, actually. You have Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford, if you didn't know this. A lot of people do, but maybe you didn't know. But, like, Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers pitcher, and Matthew Stafford were high school teammates, all right? They're from the same town in Dallas, outside of Dallas. And they played, Matthew Stafford was the catcher. Clayton Kershaw was the pitcher, and Stafford was the catcher on the baseball team and also the quarterback on the football team. And the Rams fumbled the ball. And it looks like the Eagles recovered it. As I was saying, good, nice start for the over. I don't know, though. Are they saying he's down? I think they're saying he's down. He's down. The Eagles celebration has stopped. He wasn't down. Like that, I don't understand. He wasn't down. I'm on the Rams, but I just saw the replay. He wasn't down. He wasn't even close to being down. like honestly, not even close. Sirianni's challenging this right now, but it's too late. It's too late. What? No. You can't challenge this now, bro. Our boy Land Clark is the ref. Always chaos when Land Clark is in the house. It's too late. You can't challenge this. They got the playoff. It was a fumble. No, I can't dispute it. Williams, son of a, what? Really? Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me tonight. I can't do this. Just give me a smooth freaking ride for once on one of these games. All right, we bet the over. Don't give me this drama on every play. And I don't understand how they're getting the challenge in unless, like, he got on the field and we didn't see it. The Rams got the damn playoff. It's going to be Eagle ball.
Your main event, tail of the tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6 foot 8. Reina weighs in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
That lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Oh! Off balanced him a little bit. Randy Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
Oh my goodness. How are you going to come over that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work!
Look at that position, that's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
In-game live game day continues, and as we come back, they overturn the call. I don't know how. Number one, I have a couple of questions about that. My first question is, how the hell did you not see that it was just a fumble to begin with? It was a blatant fumble. He wasn't close to being down. Like, not even, like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I've said this before. The average male man starts to lose their eyesight at 40 years old. All right, as far as, like, peak eye condition. What's the average age of, like, an NFL ref? Like, seriously, 63 or something? Like, honestly, NFL referees, they're older than the Rolling Stones are. It's like, imagine, like, asking, like, Mick Jagger. Like, Mick Jagger's in better shape. It's like, let's ask, Keith Richards. Hey, Keith, you think you can keep up with Tyreek Hill? You're only 76 and have done a ton of drugs in your life. Like, a lot of these referees should be like grandpas right now, getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner, talking about how they used to be referees. And then you got the modern referees, all these dudes. They spend more time in the gym. They're all like, oh, look at my guns. Yeah, look at your guns. You're a crap-ass ref, just like Ed Hockley was. Oh, look at Hockley. Yeah, he's in great shape. Who cares? He's a terrible ref. And his son's even worse. And this guy, Land Clark. Land Clark is starting to grind my gears a little bit. I don't know if you can trust anybody named Land, okay? I don't know. What is it, Landon, I guess? If it's Landon, but Land Clark. I swear to God, every time Land Clark does a game, I think I lose. Starting to, like I said, I got a problem with Land Clark now. There's a catch for A.J. Brown. I got a problem with fumbles. I hate this. There's nothing worse, man. You bet on it over, a team marches down the field, they take a bunch of time off the clock, and they get nothing. It's the absolute worst. It's so frustrating as a bettor, as everybody knows. It's painful. There's been a lot of painful endings to these games today. 33 people had the Washington Commanders in the Circus Survivor. You want to talk about pain, and you've got some jackass kicker missing extra points all day, right? It cost someone $14 million in the Survivor. Brutal. It's a cold world. Very, very cold world. So now the Eagles are moving the football. At this point, too, whatever. I don't even care. Somebody score. I want points in this game. Let's get this thing going. We got a bunch of props. Normally, as people that tuned into the show, I'm not normally this much sort of on edge or angry this early in a football game. Even though I am sports rage, normally I'm the dude telling other people on the show, yeah, chill out, bro. We're 5 minutes into the game, right? But it's sort of a culmination of things. Today, I found these games to be super frustrating. I had the over the Detroit Lion Indianapolis Colt game, and it was like trying to get points in that game was like trying to find a bottle of vodka in Mitt Romney's living room, right? You can't do it, right? It's like it's dry county. I swear that game was painful. The Washington-Dallas game was one of the worst football games in the history of football. That somehow the last 2 minutes turned into an absolute circus. There's 41 points scored in the fourth quarter of the Dallas-Washington game today. 41 points. And here come the Philadelphia Eagles. Big run for Jalen Hurts. Now they're inside the 20. So we've got Jalen Hurts as the first touchdown scorer here. We don't have Saquon Barkley. And the problem with Saquon Barkley touchdown props are you've got to take them kind of in a same-game parlay, or, you got to do it, or take the first touchdown. As you guys know, listen, I'm a big touchdown score prop better guy, but I can't deal with it when it gets into the minus 200 range and stuff, right? It's too much. At least not like college football where Ashton Genty minus 2,200. Seriously, minus 2,200. That's Ashton Genty's TD props for him to score. So they just gave it to Saquon, and they're inside the 10-yard line right now. There's 8.5 left in the first quarter of play. The Eagles look very efficient on offense. And here's Saquon again. Saquon gets the first down. So they had an ideal situation. Now they have a first and goal from about the 7-yard line. I actually like the fact that they just gave it to Barkley 2 times in a row. They're not going to give it to him 4 times in a row here. Right? And in fact, we'll see. He doesn't come out of the game, but they're a little bit too far for Jalen. This isn't Jalen Hurts. He's going to throw it here. Like I said, they're on the 8-yard line. First and goal from the 8-yard line. 7.5 left in the first quarter. I think Jalen's going to throw it here. Looks like no. They hand it off to Saquon again. Saquon gets stuffed, picks up a couple. For Jalen to run this in, we need to get it to like the 2 or 3 yard line here. And how many times you guys, like if you've got Barkley here, you're loving this because they keep on giving it to him. But this is surprising. How many times have we seen this with the Eagles, guys, where, we've had a Barkley first touchdown score prop. They give it to him like once or twice in here and he'll come off the field, or they'll go into the brotherly shove. Like I'm saying, I'm really surprised. They've given it to him 3 times in a row here. Ideally, they give it to him again. He gets stuffed on the 2. They get angry, and they go, all right, we're giving it to Jalen now. Right? All right, so is he going to throw it this time? Jalen keeps it. All right, I like the fact that they're reading our mind. We're like, come on, we need Jalen, but that's not going to work, bro. You can't just dance around from the 6-yard line into the end zone. I swear to God, I always wondered, actually, why the Eagles don't do the brotherly shove from further back. Like, you can actually pick up 4 or 5 yards with that thing. All right? You really could. Just the rugby scrum. You get them in the middle of it, and you just bowling ball it right into the end zone. I don't like it. I don't mind the brotherly shove, but I don't like the new sort of rugby stuff. If you notice, the NFL is like toning it down a bit, though. They're telling teams, like, like, they haven't officially changed the rule, but if you'll notice, there's been less sort of rugby scrums recently. College football, there's a ton of them. Just call the play dead, right? Otherwise, we're playing rugby here, right? And it's, we're just got a bunch of big dudes just pushing each other, like, after the play. They tried to shovel pass to Goddard. I got to tell you, that was some pretty unimaginative, crap-ass play calling by Kellen Moore. Like, seriously. You guys march down the field, and that's the best you've got. 2 runs up the middle with Barkley, a little run around with Jalen Hurts from the 7-yard line in which he had no conviction. Like, it was like they thought of it, you know what I mean? He just sort of danced around to pick up 2 yards, and then a little shovel pass into traffic. If I was A.J. Brown, I'd be like seriously upset right now. People think like, what? Like, really? What are you paying me for? What do you pay me for? You gave it to Saquon, right? There's a pecking order in this, right? There's sort of a structure to this. You gave it to Saquon. He had 2 cracks at it, right? You gave it to Jalen. He had a crack at it. Where's A.J. Brown? It's like, Kellen Moore. Seriously, you got A.J. Brown. He's a big dude. Just throw it up to him. I don't like the little fade pattern, but with A.J. Brown, I don't hate it. Or just, whatever, throw it to him. Because he can get a pass interference penalty called on him in the end zone as well. It's funny. I just saw him in an interview before the game talking about how he thinks he could beat anybody in the NFL if you just throw the ball up. Well, you got to actually do it. Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is one of those dudes that he'll call like really good plays, and then you'll sort of have this, right? Like, you can't just run it. You know what I mean? Like, you want to run the ball, I get it. How about some creative runs, or like a little pitch and a little, jet sweep, or, you know what I mean, bubble screens. Like, these coaches that get in here, and Kellen Moore, like, you're not playing Montana State here, bro. Like, all right, let's just hand it off to Barkley. He'll be able to run through 11 Rams that are stacking the box. Let's have Jalen Hurts just dance into an 11 box. Like, the Rams were jamming it. Like, these guys were jamming the box, and then you throw a shovel pass into traffic that didn't have a hope in hell.
Your main event, Tale of the Tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6 foot 8. May now weigh in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold
that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Randy McCool told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
My goodness. How are you going to ignore that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Hanna Fajera. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work! Francis Ngannou rolling away.
Look how heavy he's on the hips. Look at that position. That's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
Lasers. Dustin Pedroia, nothing but lasers. There's a bullet over the middle of the field to Puka Nacua. I am Gabe Morency. This is In-Game Live Game Day. Tomorrow night will be on at 8 o'clock Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 159 and YouTube, SportsGrid On Demand, Mondays and Thursdays. And we call that one Sports Rage Game Day. So whatever. Either way, it's game day. Tonight it's Sunday Night Football. We'll check in on the college basketball world, a little NBA. Late night in the NHL tonight, but obviously our focus in on this football game. But before we bring our boy Dave Delano in, Get Sports Strong, there was a funny story tonight on ESPN, a video, an interview. Puka Nacua spoke to, what's her name, Tierney. Lindsay Tierney? I knew I was going to butcher her name, but there it is. So, nevertheless, Puka Nacua, she asked him about, like, what a big game it is and about the standings in the NFC West. He didn't know they were in the NFC West. And I always tell handicappers this. People are like, oh, it's a look ahead. Look ahead? Like, these guys, you think they know who they're playing? They don't even know what division they're in. Puka Nacua did not know. Like, he never thought of it. Like, and he actually told her, he said, I didn't know until recently when one of my teammates told me we were in the NFC West. Right? He just figures, I don't know, we play the Cardinals twice. Like, you know what I mean? Never really crossed his mind why, right? But I'm telling you guys, I know a lot of pro athletes, man, they don't know, all right? Like, you ask them, well, oh, yeah? Right? I told you, I saw Travis Kelce was on the McAfee show. And McAfee said, oh, you got the Chargers this week. And Kelce said, oh, I didn't know that. Say Tyreek Hill. I've seen Tyreek Hill say, he goes, I don't know the schedule. And I like Tyreek had a good answer for it. He goes, doesn't matter who we play, I'm going to do my thing. That's what he said. It's sort of like a job. I've seen the same thing like NBA players. I've seen there's a video of the Toronto Raptors. They have like a behind-the-scenes show, like a Hard Knocks thing that they have cameras in. Sometimes the players will get to the airplane and they'll ask, where are we going? Like, they're not like, oh, yeah, we're playing Dallas right now, huh? No, like, they got to ask, where are we going? Who we playing? Where are we going after that? Oh, okay. Oh, we're going to Texas? Okay. Right? They don't know, right? The coaches do know. And I even asked Terry Bowden about that. He said, you're exactly right, Gabe. He goes, players in college have no idea. He said they know the rivalry game, but they don't care. But he goes, the coaches know. Let's bring in Dave Delano right now. Dave, I don't know if you dropped it's a look-ahead spot. I don't really believe in the look-ahead spots. I believe in the letdown spot, though, more so. Like, after a big game, just sort of the subconscious of teams, you know, because they get to sort of a peak level. But I thought it was a funny story that Puka Nacua didn't know what division he was in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think somewhat you do have those letdown spots. I remember, speaking of the NBA, Draymond Green a couple years ago, he was on there with LeBron, and he had mentioned he had made a reference. Orlando Magic, pretty good team now, but he had made a reference about how am I supposed to get this engine going for the Orlando Magic on this soft Tuesday? So I do think sometimes when guys are going to, Toronto, Orlando, some of those different places like that.
The NBA, listen, the NBA, it's a great point. Great point, Dave. The NBA is a completely other breed. That's like these guys. Yeah. So the NBA is a whole other one. But that's good. I like Draymond's honesty. I like his honesty about that. The NBA, there's a lot of little intricacies like that. I was talking about it actually just the other night. And for the record, the Rams knocking on the door right now. Let's see. Like I said, I'm tired of these field goals, man. Like, let's get a touchdown. And the first touchdown score of the game. Let's get a Williams touchdown. But speaking of L.A., the Clippers have been on a roll in their new arena. And like the way the road trips always work out, you'll notice it's never they play the Lakers and then the Clippers. It seems like it's always the team plays the Clippers and then they play the Lakers. And players, like, there's certain things. That's when they do know. Right, where they're going to get more up for the Staples Center and the Crypt and all that than they are like playing the Clippers, right? I remember I had Enes Kanter on the show a couple of years ago, and he told me about, he said there's only a few cities in the league where players get haircuts before the game. So that's how you know, Dave, if they're taking it for real. He goes, players want to look good when they play in Miami, L.A., and New York. He goes, the other cities, they don't care. He goes, you'll notice everybody has a fresh haircut when they play at MSG, right? So there is the NBA is just a whole other. We need a team of psychiatrists in Switzerland to break down NBA players. But what do you think of this football game? And we got a 1st and goal right now for the LA Rams. Pass interference in the end zone, setting up for maybe a Williams first touchdown score of the game prop. Let's get it. Who are you on tonight, Mr. Dave Delano?
Yeah, so a little bit different for me. I went with a lot of different, a few different props for this one. I stayed off of the side. I may get involved with something live. Similar to you, though, I did like the Rams, but at that +3, I didn't love it. I liked the Rams. I didn't know if I really wanted to go in on it. And then that total seemed a little bit weird. I almost wanted to take the under, but didn't fully trust that. I did a few alternate props. So I do have Matthew Stafford. I did win with over 230 passing yards. We'll have Jalen Hurts to get over 30 rushing yards. Got Jake Elliott. I need at least 2 field goals from him, and Saquon Barkley over 80 rushing yards. But I do like it, and that looks like, as we're talking, the Rams are on the board. There's a touchdown.
First touchdown of the game winner, baby. Williams. Like I said, what I told you guys too, like what did I say about like the Rams earlier? They used Nakua and Kupp to get them down the field, and then boom, Williams scores the touchdowns. Like Nakua and Kupp don't score a lot of touchdowns. They might get like 9 catches and like 100 and whatever yards, but they, Stafford, they don't throw into the end zone much. They're not great like in a tight space, the Rams. Their offense is one of these spread offenses, so it's really conducive to Williams. Hey, it's only +375, so we're not going to pat ourselves all on the back too much. But congratulations to everybody that just hit it, and the running back theme continues in prime time. And listen, we came close on the other side. Jalen Hurts ran the ball, and they tried, but let's take it. Williams touchdown, 7-3 football game. We'll get to the updated number and our thoughts on the in-game number on the other side.
Your main event, tail of the tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6'8". May now weigh in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Randy Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good double change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
My goodness. How are you going to Kimura that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Hanaf Fajera. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work! Francis Ngannou rolling away.
Look how heavy he is on the hips. Look at that position. That's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back. He's unleashing the momentum from
The first touchdown score streak continues as we continue to light up the first touchdown scores of the game. Great stuff. As Williams scores at plus 375. Not great odds, but this was a tricky one today, right? There were a lot of prime candidates to score the first touchdown of the game. We sort of, before the game started, I told you guys let's sort of dismiss Kupp and Nakua. There's a little dump off to Barkley. That's good. We got Barkley over 2.5 receptions and Barkley over 14.5 receiving yards. He just picked up like 6 or 7 or something like that on that little dump off. Still about 45 seconds left in the first quarter of play. But Dave, coming into this game tonight, and I'm more of an over bettor, but coming into this game tonight, bet the over, but it was one of those like hold my breath, bet the over games. Like I thought to myself about this game. I was like, you know what? This game is either going to be really, really fun. It's either like 28-27 or 31-30 or something like that. It's going to be a crazy game, and we're going to kill it with the props. It'll be a fun night. Or it'll be one of those frustrating. They both just run the ball and go nowhere, and we don't get any points. And then the first drive of the game, my worst fears came true. The Rams go down the field, fumble the football, and then we see Philadelphia only get the field goal, but. That being stated, the pace of the game right now, we're seeing both teams have been able to move the football. So I think we should get some points in this game still.
Yeah, I agree with you. And as we were talking here, I just jumped in with a small wager on the live over of 48.5. But, yeah, this is one of those Sunday night games. It's fun to bet on the Sunday night game. It's good to talk about it. This is should be a great game I'm expecting. But this is definitely a tough game to call. The Eagles have been playing really well, but you kind of expect a letdown at some point. I'm not sure when that's going to come, but I have their season win total over 10.5. So I'm fine with the success they've been having. But you mentioned with Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni, they for a good team, they still do a lot of goofy stuff. I mean, we'll see if as this game goes along, if we see some random 2-point conversions. And when you're betting on overs or the Eagles in games like this, a lot of times it can really come down to that. Do they get those 2-point conversions, or do they have like with that Jacksonville game where they just keep going for 2 and just go 0 for 3 on them? So Eagles do a lot of weird stuff. They're a really good team, but they're tough to figure out because they could. I wouldn't be surprised if they blew the Rams out in this game, and I also wouldn't be surprised if they if they lose this game just from leaving too many points on the field. So definitely I'm leaning on the Rams here like you, but it's a little bit of a tough one to figure out.
What I understand too is Kellen Moore will do a nice job, and then they get down the field and very uncreative. Let's just give the ball 2 times in a row to Barkley up the middle. It goes nowhere. And little shovel pass that goes nowhere. It's just very, very predictable. And, they're not spreading the field up. They don't use A.J. Brown there, which was pretty baffling. They don't have Devontae Smith tonight. But you're right, though, about Sirianni. And I've defended him more than most people do just because they win football games. But he's almost like it's sort of like these coaches, like a gambler that kind of whatever they do is wrong. Like you said, there's no identity to it. It's not like, oh, yeah, no, they're always going to go for it. No, sometimes he'll punt and he's too safe. Like I said, they just get into the inside the 5-6 here, and it was boring, no creativity, nothing. You got A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley, and you just played in a phone booth. Like you just sort of tried to bulldoze your way in with these guys, which is just dumb. And then sometimes they're too aggressive, and they'll do stupid things. So, yeah, they are, I guess goofy is I think goofy's a good term for them. But you know what my deal with the Eagles was, Dave? And I said before the game started, yeah, they've won 6 in a row, but look at the teams they beat. And good for them. They handle their business. But the Browns, the Jags, the Bengals, the Giants, the Cowboys, right? The Bengals were arguably one of the better teams they beat, and the Bengals are bad this year. And then the Commanders they beat, and we see the Commanders are kind of starting to hit a wall right now. That was a wild game today, huh? Who would have saw that coming?
Yeah, that was crazy. Just the improbability to complete an 86-yard touchdown like that on not a trick play, just straight up, and then the kicker come out and miss the extra point right after that. That was wild.
And he missed one earlier in the game that had him playing from behind a number right down the stretch as well.
Yeah, when they went up 9-3.
Yeah, they didn't listen. They didn't make stops when they had to, but that kicker today. He kicked the game away for the Washington Commanders, but Commanders are hitting the wall as well.
Texas too missed 28-yard field goal.
Your main event, Tale of the Tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6'8". May not weigh in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
That lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Randy Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
Oh my goodness. How are you going to come over that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work.
Look at that positioning, that's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
We're rolling in-game live game day as we're into the second quarter. We got Dave Delano, Get Sports Strong, in the house with us. So let's get everybody the updated numbers right now in this football game. Jalen Hurts just got sacked. So the Eagles are giving the football back to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are up 7-3, getting the football back. They're -1.5 right now, -130 on the money line. The total right now in-game is 46.5. And I know it's early, Dave, and I don't want to overreact, but we're one quarter and a couple of minutes through this football game, and the LA Ram defense is stepping up right now. Just, on both sides of the ball, you can sort of feel the energy. You can see the energy with the fans in the stadium. There's a lot of Eagle fans, but Ram fans are there. They're fired up. It's a great stadium. It's a great environment in there, unless you're one of the people getting your face smashed, because there's usually like 6 fights a game in this stadium. But only for people that are looking for it. But the Rams playing with a big energy right now. I'm almost tempted to jump in on the Rams again here at -130, to be honest.
No, I definitely get it. I mean, when you're looking at live betting, you have to react to what you're seeing, and it's a good start for the Rams, and now getting the ball with the lead. I think that live line right now may be a little bit of an overreaction to what we've the Eagles being the favorite coming in, but -130 on the money line for, home team with the ball here in the lead. I like the Rams as well if you're looking to jump in live right now.
Yeah, even if we only get 3 out of this, you take a 10-3 lead, suddenly they're -200, right? They score a touchdown, boom. Suddenly they're -280, -300 or whatever. And then the Eagles come into play for in-game bettors, but I already like the Rams. I'm on the Rams. But I like what I see from them, and sitting at -130 right now. So, Steve, speaking of SoFi Stadium, we're going back-to-back, actually. They play tomorrow night in the same stadium. And the Rams do have more fans in Los Angeles than the Chargers do, because the Rams were there before, right? People talk about St. Louis, but the LA Rams do have a deep tradition in Los Angeles. Plus, they won. Winning the Super Bowl really sort of put them on the map. And also, the Rams are smart. The Rams are jumped on the Dodger and Laker bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? And then you get the Clippers are stuck with the Angels, and they don't get invited to the Dodger games. You know what I mean? If you're a Ram, you get to throw out the first pitch, right? If you're on the Chargers, now you're throwing out the first pitch at the Angel game. It's a little bit different. So there's a pecking order to it. But now that the Chargers are good, the bandwagon is quickly filling up, and they do have fans, and Harbaugh is a popular guy, and Herbert's a stud. They're winning football games. You got the Harbaugh Bowl tomorrow night in this stadium. It should be noted, John is 2-0 against Jim. I don't remember the other regular season game they played, but I remember the Super Bowl, obviously. So Jim hasn't beaten John before, and I actually think that trend is going to continue. I often bet against Baltimore. I find reasons to bet against Baltimore more than I do to bet on them, but I actually do think the Ravens get it done tomorrow night. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I'll say a lot of times when I do bet against Baltimore, I'm not often correct. So take it with a grain of salt. But I like the Chargers. I like the Chargers in this one. I know a lot of people do like Baltimore. It's going to be a good game, just like we saw last week when the Chargers played the Bengals. But this Charger offense, they're coming along now, 26 points or more in 4 straight games, and just had some questions with the Ravens defense, the way they've been giving up some points. I know coming off of that tough loss to Pittsburgh, you kind of expect Baltimore to bounce back. This one is, it's a tough game either way, but I'm actually leaning with the Chargers right now. And it does feel weird. The Chargers in Los Angeles, to me, it still feels like the Padres being in Los Angeles. I still
stumble sometimes. I started to say San Diego the other day, actually, when I was talking about this game. It's hard to let it go. It's, listen, they should be in San Diego still. It is what it is, but they got this free stadium basically to play in. And that's the business of the NFL, but it's sad that they're not. I've been to Charger games in San Diego before, and it was a really good time. Great city. So 7-3, the Eagles just get the stop right now. I do agree with you. If you look at this Charger offense, guys, you know, for the most part this year, it's been very Big Ten football-ish, right, Dave? Right? He basically took the Michigan formula, and we're going to run the ball 38 times a game, 40 times a game. And even though I have Justin Herbert, we're going to be a run-heavy team. And, you know, they didn't have stud wide receivers really to work with. They bring in McConkey, possession guy, but now they're starting to open things up a little bit, and they're becoming more dangerous. They play great defense, no, without a doubt. It's, you know, back-to-back primetime games, though, tough to win. And my deal with this is kind of like, listen, they, you know, if there's ever coaches that know each other, it's this matchup, right? So they both know what each other are doing, 1,000,000%. They both know each other's playbook inside out. So now it comes down to me, all right, to the players and the execution of this. And I think I like this Charger story, but I think Baltimore, I kind of think the Chargers want to do what Baltimore does, but Baltimore's got Derrick Henry to do it with. They got Lamar Jackson to do this thing with. And I think it's such a must-win game for Baltimore. It's pretty crazy. I mean, these guys have lost 4 games, Dave. As good as they are, they can't keep losing games. They got to start winning some football games, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, those division games are always going to be tough for them. And when you mention how well these two obviously know each other, being brothers, that's kind of one of the things I'm wondering with the total. Does that think that helps the over, or does it help the under? You know, you look at this, even though the Chargers have that, identity of you thinking, like you said, Michigan football, low scoring, they're really picking things up. And this seems like this should be a bit of an over game, but with how familiar they both are with each other, do you think that leads to more points and helps the offense, or do you think that helps the defense towards the under?
I would say the under, right? But I'm just scared with all that speed on the field. And like I said, this is a fast track, indoors, perfect weather, big play capability, especially on the Baltimore Ravens side of things. And not to mention that Ravens secondary. To me, though, it's almost which coach will surprise the other one. You know what I'm saying? Because they both know each other so well. So which coach is going to be more bold? Which coach is going to – and I kind of think that's Jim. Or, excuse me, John. I always get Jim and John. Son of it. So good, back and forth. I got it's Baltimore. And John, like, Jim's going to stick with what he does here. I can see John thinking, you know what? Jim thinks we're going to do this. I'm going to think outside the box. We're going deep. We're throwing a bomb. Right? I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that the familiarity sort of, I think that John is a more risk taker than Jim is. But, you know, why I kind of would also say, even though I think it leads to the under, Dave, we know that Baltimore secondary can get carved up, bro. Right? Herbert should have some success and be able to move the ball on them in the air. So I'm scared to be betting the under. And here come the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, so the Eagles are on the Philadelphia Eagles moving the ball. They're on the Rams side of the logo right now, and about the 45, 46 yard line as the second quarter rolls on. In-game total is moved to 44.5, and the money line is swung. The Rams are now plus 105. The Eagles minus 135. Speaking of the total tomorrow night, we do need a clean ride to get there. 50.5 is the number. And the Ravens down to 2.5 now, Dave, down from the 3.
Yeah, it is almost has to be perfect because I almost could see this being like a 28-24 game. So it does seem like with that total, you'll probably have to sweat that out either way. I do think for the over, I think that if the Ravens get off to a strong start, that's probably going to be good for the over, which would force the Chargers to open things up a little bit. If the Chargers get up, I can see it turning into a little bit more of a grinded out game, which, for 52 points, you can't have much of that.
We'll take a look at the Thanksgiving slate on the other side and talk a little college football with Dave before we get him out of here. Let's roll.
Your main event, tail of the tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6'8" in a now weighing in heavier as the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
Knows that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Randy Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
Oh my goodness. How are you going to come over that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work. Francis Ngannou rolling away.
Look how heavy he's on the hips. Look at that position. That's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
Six turning into a flag fest. We've seen this before. 2 penalties in a row, actually, on the Philadelphia Eagles. So once again, the Eagles march down the field. They're looking good. Now they've stalled. Saquon Barkley is injured, but we don't know the severity of it. And I see right now beat writers are reporting that Barkley is being looked at right now on the sideline, but he's not in the tent. So that could be a positive sign. He's not in the medical tent, but trainers are talking to him on the sideline right now. So we'll see what the Eagles can do, but they're going backwards right now. Just they very, very frustrating for if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan. I'm a little bit frustrated from an over perspective, but at the same point in time, I'm also on the LA Rams as well. All right, so we got Dave Delano for another segment. We always appreciate his time here. Dave, early happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm actually going to be on, everybody. We'll be live for the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packer game on Thursday night. But we got the Chicago Bears going to Detroit. The Lions are, 10-1 now for the first time since 1934. The Lions are laying 10.5 against the visiting Bears. Total is 49. The New York Giants, I don't know. When you say like they can't get any lower, they find new ways. But the Giants are actually only 3.5-point underdogs against. But the Dallas Cowboys are terrible. But are the Cowboys going to go on a roll now? Cowboys minus 3.5. Total 38.5 in that game. And the Green Bay Packers lay 3 at home against the resurgent Miami Dolphin football team. And it looks like the Eagles are actually going to get penalties on 3 consecutive plays in a row right now. We'll tell you if it is on them, but I think it is. So, yeah, the Dolphins are getting 3 in Green Bay. Total's 47. I'll get you the Green Bay weather right now, guys, at least the advanced look. What do you think about the Thanksgiving slate so far, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions, first of all, we'll start there. Not really a team that I've wanted to go against. I backed the Lions today against the Colts, but just on that over – I was just looking at it at the beginning. My initial lean would be on the Bears plus 10.5. I know no one's going to want to go against the Lions. I mean, the Bears have been having some tough breaks. It's a divisional game. And we were talking about letdowns, look-ahead spots and all that, but you're playing right now. It looks like the best team in the NFL on Thanksgiving Day, national TV, divisional game. I think that the Bears can keep that game within 10 points. So I'm early on leaning on the Chicago Bears from looking at that with the 10.5. And also, the Cowboys, I mean, they've looked terrible, but they haven't won a game at home yet this year. I'm thinking at some point they're going to win one at home.
They're home fans.
Yeah, and this looks like this will be the one. I mean, this Giants team is terrible. I was on the Bucs today, but then unfortunately I was also on that over 41.5. And if the Giants had any type of pulse offensively, it would have got there. That Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay is a little bit of an underrated team, but that defense is not very strong. But the Giants made it look great, and I just can't get behind the Giants right now against anybody. So I would also be leaning on the Cowboys in that one. And then as far as that night game goes, I'd have to see what that weather is going to be in Green Bay. But I know Miami, a lot of people are thinking they could make a run.
33 degrees.
Yeah, so I'm just not going to overthink that. Dolphins in Green Bay on Thanksgiving, 33 degrees. I want no parts of Miami in that one, so I would be on the Packers.
Tua said today after the game that he embraces the challenge, and he even said, I look forward to changing the narrative about playing in cold weather. We'll see. That's what it's reported right now. I see 33 degrees, 11-mile-an-hour winds, but it is a night game, and it's going to, the game is at 8 o'clock Eastern time, so it's going to get colder as the night goes on there. All right, it was a wild weekend of upsets in college football this weekend, Dave. And for the record, the Eagles kick another field goal. So they move down the field, they go backwards, like just absolutely terrible and inept. And the Eagles are currently minus 115, Rams minus 105, total 45.5 right now. 6 minutes left in the quarter. So college football this week. It was a wild weekend of upsets this past weekend, and now we get into the final weekend of regular season play and the rivalry games. You got Michigan and Ohio State. Unbelievable that we see a 20.5 in this rivalry once again. And Michigan, I tell you what, Michigan strung it together. And even though, people think, oh, Michigan had a terrible year and stuff, Dave, they're feeling pretty good about themselves. They got Bryce Underwood coming in. Dude, these guys are flipping more commits than it's daily. I saw another kid just left Georgia today to go to Michigan. The Underwood effect is real. Other players are going to join him right now. So Michigan are in a good mood, actually. They're kind of playing with house money in this game. All the pressure's on Ohio State. And I know Ohio State are a lot better than they are, but that one is 20.5. In your neck of the woods in Texas, we've got a big one. Even though Texas A&M just lost, massive football game for them still against the Texas Longhorns. Longhorns are 5.5-point favorites in that game. What are your thoughts on some of these heavyweight tilts this weekend?
Yeah, so I feel like both are in my neck of the woods. And I grew up in Toledo there, right where that Ohio-Michigan war was back in the 1800s. But first of all, looking at that game, that is a lot of points. Ohio State's much better than Michigan. But, when you got that 3-game losing streak, it's in Ohio. Michigan's playing with house money. Ohio State's got off to some slow starts this season, even in that Indiana game a couple days ago. So if Michigan gets up 7-0, you could definitely see, there's going to all the pressure is going to be on Ohio State. I think that Ohio State wins the game, but I think that 20.5 is a bit too much. Getting more than 17, I would lean on the Wolverines to cover that 20.5. And I like the dog in both of these games. I'm looking at Texas A&M and Texas. Texas A&M has been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. I think that they could possibly even win that game outright. I know that they lost to Auburn, but things have been so crazy in the SEC. Right now I would have to say Texas A&M plus the 5.5, and is as much as I don't want to say it, Michigan plus 3.5.
Where can people find you, Dave? We got 10 seconds.
I'm on X at Get Sports Strong and GetSportsStrong.com.
Dave Delano, Get Sports Strong. Thanks, Dave.
Your main event, tail of the tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6 foot 8. May now weigh in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. In the gray.
Oh, that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Oh! Off balanced him a little bit. Brandon Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
Oh, my goodness. How are you going to Kimura that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work.
Look at that position, that's beautiful work. Kenny's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back in. These conditions with the kick from
In-game live game day continues. I am Gabe Morency, throwing it down to SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. We've got about 5 minutes left in the first half. It's been a strange game. It's been a strange day of games today in which the action, it hasn't really been very good. It's been like poor quality football today across the board for the most part. But we've had some wild endings. Games open up and get crazy. But there's been a lot of sloppy play. And teams, that move down the field. There's no excuses, too. Like we hear, we'll cut teams slack sometimes for like a Thursday night football game. We'll say, you know what, they just played on Sunday in a physical game and they're worn out and it's against a division rival and that's why it is what it is. This is Sunday night football, right? You don't have the extra day of Monday, but the Eagles are rested in this game. And, there's been a lot of nothing, right? Sort of the John Wood and don't confuse activity for achievement. But the Eagles just came up with a big stop. They sacked Stafford on third down. They're getting the football back, and they get the ball to start the second half. So the Eagles are in a pretty good situation right now. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. They've gotten inside the red zone and pretty deep into the red zone twice, and they've come away with 6 points only, right? The first time they got stuffed on the goal line. Play calling was pretty bad and just, uncreative. And they didn't score. They get the field goal. Second time, A.J. Brown made a big play, got him down the field, and they got penalties on 3 consecutive snaps in a row. It pushed them back. So Elliott's got 2 field goals in this game, 7-6. And we got 4:13 left to be exact in the first half. Casey Hudson will step up and in at the half with the halftime report and the postgame show. Saquon Barkley was being attended to by the trainers on the sidelines, but he's back on the field right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's give people a prop check box score update right now and see if we can find any in-game situations that we want to jump in on. I often like to jump in on the quarterback passing yard props in-game, but we're already on Stafford over 251.5. He's only at 62 right now. I'm not really panicked about the play, but with that being stated, I'm not really chasing it right now. So for the record, we can get it on the Ram bets right now because the Eagles have the ball. But a quick Eagle check. Jalen Hurts, 8 for 10 for 77 yards passing. Saquon Barkley, 10 carries, 53 yards, averaging 5.3 yards a clip tonight. Jalen Hurts, 5 carries, 31 yards. Gainwell, 2 carries, 6 yards. A.J. Brown, who we actually bet on receptions and yards, over 88.5. I thought it was high, but I figured I got to get in on it because he's going to make a couple of big plays. And we went over the 6.5 receptions. A.J. Brown's got 3 catches for 63 yards. Goddard's got 2 catches for 2 yards. Dotson, 1 catch for 4. Saquon Barkley, we got over 2.5. He's got 2. That's the good news. Bad news, we got over 14.5. He's only 2 catches for 3 yards. Barkley just scrambled and popped a little bit of a run, knocked the cameraman over, but unlike a lot of players, a nice guy and helped the cameraman up. So you're up to date there. All right, so as far as the Rams are concerned, Stafford, 6 for 10. Stafford looked sharp early, threw a couple of bullets, had a nice scramble for 15 yards, but has kind of the Eagles have confused him, and he's been under pressure lately. 6 of 10 for 62 yards. Williams, 8 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Scored the first touchdown of the game. Nakua, 4 catches for 45 yards. But Cooper Kupp, surprisingly, only has 1 catch for 4 yards. So I think Cooper Kupp is the one we're going to have to look at and see what his number is here. So Nakua was 6.5 and 71.5. He's at 4 and 45. So we're on pace for Nakua. Cooper Kupp, only 1 catch for 4 yards. As far as the in-game numbers right now, as far as the player props are concerned, as I stated, the Philadelphia ones change like every second here because they have the football right now, but we can get in on them. And we're going to the 2-minute warning right now, so there's an opportunity to jump in. All right, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's at 63 yards. His in-game prop is 109.5. It's kind of high. Let's just worry about getting the 88.5. Dallas Goedert right now, 7 yards. His in-game prop is 35.5. Dotson, he's got 4 yards right now. His prop is 7.5. Barkley's got he's got 3 yards receiving. It's 8.5. I think Dotson, too. You're telling me 1 catch. If Dotson makes 1 catch, we're going to win the over 7.5 here. He's already at 4.
Your main event, tail of the tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6 foot 8. Reina weighing in heavier, has the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
That lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Brandon Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed, drives through. Now on top.
Oh my goodness. How are you going to Kimura that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round 1 halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work.
Look at that positioning, that's beautiful work. Kenny's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
in-game live game day continues. So as we were going to the break, I was talking about Dotson. So Dotson's got one catch, and I see his reception prop right now in-game is 1.5, but it's minus 140. So does he get one more catch? I don't think this is a bad bet. You know, anytime you only need one of anything, it's not a bad bet. So we need one catch from Dotson. They just locked it up right now. As I stated, it's fluid when a team has the ball. But, man, this modern in-game betting is crazy with the 5G stuff. It didn't used to be this fast. Like, they'd freeze it during the possession, and then you'd have to bet on the team props that didn't have the ball. But now they just update it after every player. It went down to 135 here. All right, well, wait for the Dotson prop for the half because they're not going to throw it to him here, right? They're inside the red zone right now. This could be A.J. Brown time. So Saquon Barkley, of course, back in the football game. They got the ball on the 20-yard line. So we're a little under the 2-minute warning right now. Looking at the Ram prop, so Cooper Kupp's only got one catch. His in-game right now is 4.5. I'd prefer, you know what? He should get to 5. His number was 6.5 to begin with. I wish, I prefer if it wasn't minus 130. Like I said, it's not jumping off the screen at me, even though he should get to 5. But I already have him at 6.5, so I don't really see it's not value, so to speak here. Nakua is 7.5. All right, Nakua is 7.5. I think they're actually both going to go over, especially if they score a touchdown here. Right, they score a touchdown here. Suddenly the Eagles are winning 13. Hell, maybe they go for 2 too. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised. We were talking about it earlier. You never know what Sirianni's going to do, but they get the lead. They also get the ball to start the second half. The Rams going to have no choice but to start throwing the football. And who are they going to throw it to? So Nakua's got 4 catches, 7.5 right now. He's going to get to 8. And yeah, let's go with Cooper Kupp over the 4.5 as well. This is a big turning point, an inflection point in this football game early right now. Although it's getting late early, as Yogi Berra stated, is the first half coming to an end. The Rams call the timeout, so the Rams want the ball back before. Smartly. Good call. Call those timeouts, actually. Get the football back because the Eagles get the ball to start the second half. So, they score here. They got to stop or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is big. This is a big little turning point in this football game right now. But as I was saying, Cooper Kupp, it just went from minus 1. No, it's minus 130 still. All right. The Nakua moved up to minus 115. So as I stated, he's only got 1. I think Nakua is the go-to guy more than Kupp is. And, there it is. No, incomplete. I thought that A.J. Brown had the touchdown. They threw it into the end zone to A.J. Brown. I thought he caught it at first. I don't know why he didn't catch it, to be honest with you. I don't like to see the replay from another angle. It got punched out, actually. You know what, though? You know what's crazy? I've always found this to be weird and crazy nuts. If you're a running back or a quarterback, whatever, if you have the ball, all you got to do is have it for a split, minuscule second, like for a split second, on the, just to touch the goal line. But when you're a receiver, you got to have the ball and whatever, take a couple of steps. That's not a touchdown, though. They're slowing it down. They're looking at it. I'm, the Morency Command Center, I'm pretty good with my reviews, and I say that is not a catch. And I'm not just saying because I had the Rams. He didn't have it long enough. Like, yeah, in slow motion, he's taking a couple of steps, but the ball gets punched out. And he really, he didn't know it was about to get punched out, but honestly, it should have been a touchdown, right? Like, he had it, but he kind of casually just sort of caught it, and he didn't sort of, really, really grip it. But like I said, I don't think he knew the ball was about to get punched, but you're supposed to kind of know. I personally don't think that's a touchdown. If it is, well, whatever. We got A.J. Brown touchdown scorer prop, but I'm getting a little bit concerned right now. I'm getting a little bit concerned about the Rams and just their slowness on offense. we saw, it's weird, the Rams have won 4 of their last 5 football games, but they were flat on the Monday night game against the Miami Dolphins 2 weeks ago. Then they beat the Patriots, and now here they're back at home again. And, you know, I'm not going to say they're flat. I think it's Philadelphia's defense, which I got to give credit to. I said earlier, you know what, they beat a lot of bad teams and stuff, but their defense is balling right now. So we do like the Cooper Kupp over 4.5, because either way, Philadelphia's going to score here, and they're going to get the ball back. The Rams should get the ball back with a little bit of time to rack up some props here, some stats. So get in if you want to follow this. Cooper Kupp over 4.5, Nakua over 7.5. As far as Matthew Stafford's passing yard prop, it's 213.5 right now. I got over 251.5. I actually like this over 213.5. They overreact early. I'm telling you, especially guys, like teams get desperate in the second half. They're not going to run the ball anymore, right? Especially if they do call this a touchdown. Like there's going to be, it looks like the Eagles are starting to get the momentum in this game. So therefore, like the Rams are not going to have a choice but to throw the football. So I think that the 213.5, it's locked right now because they're waiting to see what this call is. But even though I'm already on the 251.5, I think that over 213.5 is a good play. So this is the, you know, it's sort of one thing. Like we're on the Rams, and the Rams might not, you know, the Rams might not cover the 3, but we could more than make up for it, actually. Like if they're losing and the Eagles start to pull away, we can make up for it on Ram props. Because as I stated, they only really throw it to Nakua and they throw it to Kupp. And they reversed the call to a touchdown. Touchdown, A.J. Brown. All right, you know what? I'm not going to cry about it. I got the over the football game, and I got an A.J. Brown touchdown score prop. Right, so, you know, cash it. Touchdown, Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think that was a touchdown, though. Like, they slowed it. You slow it down like that, and, okay, yeah, he took 2 steps and stuff, but in real speed, it was like bang, bang, boom, ball gets punched out. I personally, I don't think that was a touchdown. In my own opinion. The Morency Command Center disagrees. There's a $127 left, though, right now for the Rams to work with. So this is a nice little spot for Stafford to rack up some yards, guys. It just went to 211.5. All right, this is the time to jump in. A little in-game live action. Let's roll. All right. Cooper Kupp over 4.5. Nakua over 7.5. And Matthew Stafford over 211.5. You know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to try to pull this off quickly, but they have in-game, same-game parlays, don't they? Yes, they do. Player receiving props, receptions. All right, here we go. Let's put this together in a parlay. Let's make a same-game parlay here. You know we're getting desperate on a Sunday night when I'm doing in-game, same-game parlays, but let's rock. And it's going to pay pretty well, actually. We're already up to plus 240 without putting Stafford in this, but I got to hurry up. Quarterback props, passing yards, over 220.5 now. Wow, okay. All right, it's plus 300 when you parlay them together. And the bet is almost in. It's in. All right, so yeah, why not? Let's. You know what? We bet all 3 of them. It's like, yeah, whatever. We probably go 2-1 and we win a bit, but I don't mind rolling the dice here, swinging for the fences. And so we got I don't think we've given you an in-game, same-game parlay before. There's LeBron at the game. So yeah, over 220.5 passing yards for Matt Stafford, over 4.5 receptions for Cooper Kupp, over 7.5 receptions for Nakua. There's a catch for Kupp already. Let's rock.
Your main event, Tale of the Tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Reina Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6'8". Reina now weighing in heavier as the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
As that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Takedown. Brandon Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
Oh my goodness. How are you going to get more of that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has of getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work. Francis Ngannou rolling away.
Look how heavy he is on the hips. Look at that position. That's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back.
I am Gabe Morency. This is in-game live game day, and I don't understand what the hell Sean McVay is doing. I understand, Stafford keeps getting sacked, all right? He's under duress, but it was 3rd and 13. They just handed the football off, and now Philadelphia actually have the ball again, and there's 26 seconds left, and they get the ball to start the second half. Like, the Rams could not have mismanaged that any worse. I'm interested to see. Potentially, we could get the long field goal prop in here, maybe. Right? If they're going to try. So at least we got a puncher's chance at this long field goal prop. And suddenly the game opens up a little bit. But that was a quick drive. We did get a catch. Cooper Kupp got a catch out of that. So that was a quick catch for Cooper Kupp. But I really would have liked to pad some yards with Stafford on that drive. Stafford's number is now 206 and a half. But on the plus side, whatever, the game is opening up a little bit. The in-game total is currently 46 and a half. And now there's a penalty on the Rams, an automatic first down, pass interference call on the Rams. So the Eagles are probably going to get a field goal attempt here. Well, and he'll probably make it. This is one of the more kicker-friendly stadiums indoors, obviously. So, yeah, the total's 46 and a half right now. Let's just say they make the field goal. So they'll be up to 23. I think the game will open up because, now whatever, dude. If it's 16-7, and don't forget the Eagles get the ball to start the second half, the Rams really won't have a choice but to just start throwing the ball and playing hurry up and trying to pick up the pace here. Or they get the stop. There's only 17 seconds left here in the first half. For the record, the Eagles are up to minus 7.5 right now. The Rams are plus 375 on the money line. Are the Rams live dogs right? They're not out of this football game. They're not playing well, though, right, on offense. They're stagnant. The Eagles' defense is dominating them in the trenches. That's, football. We could talk about the wide receivers, the running backs, and the props and all that, but it's the O-line and the D-line that win and lose football games for teams. If the O-line can't protect the quarterback and the D-line is winning the battle, then it doesn't matter who your wide receiver and your quarterback is. And vice versa, right? If your defense is dominating, right, you got to win the game in the trenches, and the Eagles are starting to win this game in the trenches. That was a weird play call from Philadelphia right now, just a weird sort of nothing run from Jalen Hurts. I don't really understand. I don't know some of these play callers in the National Football League, man. But I do stand by these player props, and I do like them. And you know how we roll. We're just going to go all in on this stuff. I think the Puka Nacua prop is a really good one, but I'm going to say right now, before we send it to the halftime show, and we're coming up soon, the in-game total just fell to 45.5 right now. I still think it's going to get there. Right, there are big plays in this game. Philadelphia have settled for 2 field goals. The Rams' offense has to get a little bit better. And/or, the thing is, as I stated earlier, if the Rams, if it's one of these nights tonight for them and they can't get it going, we can still hit the props without them winning the bet. So that's why I like these in-game props so much. Let's see if it's still 4.5 and 7.5 now. All right, Cooper Kupp is up to 5.5. Philadelphia had a perfect opportunity. They can't do anything now. The Rams defense just stepped up. It was a big opportunity for Philadelphia to add another 3 on the board. Strange play calling. I didn't understand the little run with Jalen Hurts. Like, what did you think you guys were going to get out of that? Right? Like, it wasn't some, like, all right, Hurts took off to the edge and, you know what I mean? It was some cool design run play. I don't know if it was a broken play or what happened, but it was kind of a wasted play, and it took a lot of time off the clock. It's 4th and 7 right now, and they're on the 49-yard line. They're kind of in nowhere's land right now, too. That's why I like the play calling. If you just would have picked up a couple of more yards, you could say, all right, you know what? Let's try the 63-yarder here. I understand them. They can't kick the field goal from here. They can't kick the field goal. But they can't kick the field goal here because then it would give the Rams the ball with like 5 seconds left or whatever. Then they could potentially try to kick a field goal. It looks like they're keeping the offense on the field here. They have time for a quick hit. It's one of these weird sort of endings. Like I said, it's been a weird day in the National Football League today. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird spot. You're at 7 seconds left. What do we do here? Honestly, the best thing to do would just be to freaking punt it, to be honest. But then they're thinking, all right, we don't want to get the punt block, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim. Elliott was hoping to get a crack at it. They're not. It's just strange. Like I said, this is very, very bizarre. And I defended Sirianni earlier. I don't know what the hell they're doing. That's why my mind is just kind of, I'm like, I've never really seen this. Like, so you go for it on 4th and 7. You go, but there should be a second left here right now. They went for it, and they were like, all right, we're going to kill the clock. So Jalen Hurts sort of ran around a bit. It looked like there was, still 2 seconds left before. All right, they're only going to get a Hail Mary. They're not close enough for a field goal. But now suddenly the Rams have a shot here. Let's see, when does he actually go down? Yeah, 1 second. He landed on some. I think it should be 1. They're giving him 2 seconds. They're giving him 2 seconds. Man, I don't know why they don't try just some super long field goal. These kickers and warm-ups and stuff, they hit 70-yarders. Kickers on the sideline, thinking, give me a chance. And you know what? I don't mind it. How far would this kick? That's just too far, though. Yeah, it's on the 49-yard line, 48-yard line. All right, so let's see. Give us a stat here. You know what I'd like? We got the Stafford yard prop. Even if it's not, he gets sacked anyways. They can't protect him. That's the theme of the first half. The theme of the first half is the dominance of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. They are dominating in the trenches. Stafford gets sacked again. Casey Hudson coming up next. Halftime show. I'll be back in the third.
Your main event, tail of the tape for Battle of the Giants. Francis Ngannou, 38 years of age. Renan Ferreira is 34. Francis standing 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's usually the bigger man, but tonight he'll face a man who is 6'8", now weighing in heavier as the longer reach on arms and legs. Francis Ngannou in the gold and black. Reina Ferreira in the gray.
As that lead hand, he's got to be cautious because that right hand is coming over the top.
Off balanced him a little bit. Takedown. Brandon Couture told you to watch for the wrestling. Who lands the takedowns? Good level change from Francis. Well timed. Drives through. Now on top.
My goodness. How are you going to Kimura that? Oh!
Triangle attempt here.
Francis needs to rip out of that right now. The longer he stays, the more chance he has getting caught.
Wrist again, trying to stifle the punching attack of Ngannou.
Round one halfway gone. Now the far side underhook for Reina Ferreira. See if he can build himself up. Easier said than done. From underneath somebody like Francis Ngannou, who punches from the top. Nasty work! Francis Ngannou rolling away.
Look how heavy he is on the hips. Look at that position. That's beautiful work. Henry's going to have to work tremendously hard to get Ngannou off him so he can get back. He's unleashing the momentum from
Welcome into Pro Football Today, the halftime show here on SportsGrid TV. Plenty to get into as Sunday Night Football has now hit halftime. And the two teams have headed to their respective locker rooms with the Eagles on top 13-7. So plenty to unpack here, starting with the fact that opening up this first quarter, you really thought the Rams had all the momentum. Not that you thought the Rams had all the momentum. The Rams did have all the momentum. We saw some flashes of former Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford in the realm here for the Rams, and with a big run, a 15-yard rush to be more specific, trying to gain some ground for the Rams team to find the end zone. We saw plenty of big running plays versus this Eagles team, surprising enough, and it was Kyren Williams also with tremendous play. Now, while he helped the Rams get down the field, while he helped them secure majority of the momentum that they had in that first quarter, a big red zone fumble ends up getting the Eagles back the ball, but he makes up for that fumble by finding the end zone towards the end of that first quarter. So Rams come out swinging, they come out strong, and they come out on top of that first quarter, but the second quarter was majorly adjusted by the Eagles. You saw those big plays by Saquon Barkley as expected. I mean, he's just a tremendous workhorse. It's terribly, terribly tough to stop or slow down by any means. With that being said, we did see a shakeup with Puka Nacua for starters, and it was on the right side of his body where he already was dealing with injuries with his right shoulder and his right knee. I will say, heading into this halftime report, I've seen no props standing up for Puka Nacua, so that's going to be something interesting to look out for on the other side of halftime to see if he's able to come back in. I tried to check for any updated reports, haven't seen anything besides the initial shakeup and then him going off to the sideline, but Puka Nacua was also the other large driving force for this Rams offense outside of Kyren Williams and the success that he was bringing. On top of that, he made NFL history today. He's one of 5 NFL players within 23 or fewer games to have 2,000 scrimmage yards. We saw how many flex plays he had out there. We saw how strong of a receiver he is to bring down, and it's going to be hard to see how they adjust if Puka Nacua does not come back into this second half. Statistically, he was sitting at 45 receiving yards. Cooper Kupp was sitting at the bottom of the receiving class when it comes to the statistics as to how the Rams have managed to get down the field. And then the other hard part for this Rams team adjustment-wise is the fact that Matthew Stafford, the pressure just consistently coming at him. I think he's sitting at 3 sacks now heading into halftime. So how does this adjust the numbers? Well, as kickoff started to come underway for this Rams-Eagles matchup. The spread was sitting at 1.5. The total was sitting at 48.5. The adjustments that I saw as the clock was winding down in that second quarter there was a 6.5 on the spread, a 44.5 on the total. If the Rams keep getting flustered by all of the pressure that this Eagles defense is consistently flooding them in with, then it's going to be hard to see them get back on the scoreboard here. They tried a number of ways. A 3-and-out kind of closed the door on them, closing out that first half there. So we got to see how Matthew Stafford's going to get this game back in his clutches to help his team move forward. Now, what are some things that the Eagles have done well outside of Saquon Barkley? Big plays from A.J. Brown, for one. So some numbers that you're going to want to keep an eye out on are going to be Saquon Barkley's. Jumped around a little bit, went up to 105 rushing yards, and then went down to 101. I actually kind of like that 101 considering that he's sitting at 73 rushing yards right now, and he's just unstoppable. He's so hard to slow down. The Rams are going to have to make some major adjustments, but more importantly, they got to stop missing tackles. I mean, there's a number of tackles that cost them the ability to slow down the Eagles from catching that touchdown, closing out that first half there. So seeing as how we see the Eagles pick things up, we see them get even stronger in the second half. So we got to see if Rams can match that. Something else that I like, you also have A.J. Brown's numbers sitting particularly close to that 100 mark. He's at 79 receiving yards. He's got a touchdown. I wouldn't be surprised to see more action going his way. You're seeing some great plays from Jalen Hurts getting over to A.J. Brown, and the consistency has been quite strong there. So the balance attack is working favorably when it comes to the Eagles. We have to see how the Rams are going to make adjustments if is not coming back in this second half. Kyron Williams, not particularly solvable, but when you put him in to come up with blocks or anything else that the Rams are trying to do, they need to cease and desist with that because Stafford is just getting flustered with the pressure coming at him. Cooper Kupp has to get more involved one way or another. His stats were sitting at 40.5. His numbers, or props I should say, were sitting at 40.5 last I checked. That's something they're going to have to revert to if Puka Nacua is not coming into the second half. So I actually like that number for Cooper Kupp to get more involved. Go fully heavy on the run game there, or we're going to see more big runs out of Matthew Stafford. Regardless, this is almost a do or die moment for a Rams team that's got off to a number of slow starts, had those pivotal pivots coming out of the bye week for them, and then of course as their roster gets healthier. So we're going to take a closer look at the numbers as well as probably some things to potentially jump on, see if the spread in line further here on Pro Football Today, the halftime report on SportsGrid.